Hello, good morning to you all. I welcome you all for today's session. This is Dr. Aisha Butalia. I work as a professor in IT department, MIT ADT. Today we are going to talk about the open source you can use in your C language. Now see, you might have already explored about the Visual Studio, right, in your laboratory. There are various compilers, online compiler, even various IDEs, Turbo C. Also, you can use command prompt, GCC on Unix platform. So there are various ways you can compile and run your code. Okay, especially for C language, you have n number of options. But there is drawback of downloading the software, say Visual Studio. Of course, has its own benefits and it's a powerful tool, software as well. But you have to download. Once you download, then if you change your laptop or machine, then you again need to download, and you need to have certain files which are compatible with your operating system of the machine you are using with the Visual Studio version you are using. So there are n number of drawbacks, of course, along with benefits, but this is the major drawback of using a downloadable software. So I always suggest that yes, you should explore 2, 3 options where Visual Studio can be a very good option downloadable. But apart from that, you should explore some other options also so that you are competent enough to judge which software is good and which is bad. Unless you try 2, 3 options, how you can say that this is bad or this is good, right? So there should be a comparison and your confidence level increases because of that. Okay, because you can say that, okay, these are the benefits, that's why I use this. Okay, these are the drawbacks, that's why I reject this software. So I would recommend the open source. Why? Because it is freely available. Okay, and it's type of a ubiquitous and a pervasive computing application. That means it's an anytime, anywhere. You need not download. You can directly register and use it online. Okay, and of course it's freely available. So always, whenever you are interviewed, okay, people ask that what open source you are using. If you are using a downloadable software, they will ask you why there is no option of open source, because nowadays a lot of things are available and you have options for every category on open source. So we always, as a computer engineers, we recommend that better to go for open source. Yes, if you are working in a company, then they have a licensed software, because it's a professional, a client based environment for which you need to have that type of security. So over there, you may probably have that product based system. But for learning purpose, why to spend and why to work on a pirated version? So better go for open source, and you can learn a lot of things on open source. So let's start. There are a lot of open sources. What we will be discussing here, and it's very easy, is the codeboard.io. Codeboard.io. So right now, I would like you to just register on the code board right away, because if you do it later on, then probably if you face any problems, then it won't be sorted online. So maybe you will have to wait. So right now, just type codeboard.io on Google and register, sign up yourself over there. See, I'm typing in front of you codeboard.io. Now, since I'm already registered, it is my login comes up, I'll sign out. So this is the UI you
Hello.
will be getting. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Many students are not able to join. So can you share the link on WhatsApp platform?
So can you see the screen, codeboard.io? This is the registration form. You need to click on the sign up here. Okay. And you fill this form, create the account. So please do it right away. I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Since I've already signed up, now after signing up, I will register myself. I will sign in. Once I have signed up, registered, then I will sign in. So after registration, signing up, after signing in, you get this type of screen with your name as your login ID. If you are done with it, please let me know. You can put it on the chat box that you have done with the registration. Then we will continue. Once you get this screen, you should get this tab Open IDE over here. Open IDE. You need to have create now. Then you get this screen with your login ID displayed over here. And here you, at the bottom, you have got Open ID. So you have to click over here. You can create new, and here you can have different projects under which you can have specified files. You can have all these languages as your projects. It's a very good open source. But right now, make it simple for the first time. Just click the Open IDE. Once you click,
showing Open IDE right now.
Yes.
Open IDE, the option is not available.
You need to check create. Then you have to say create now. Maybe you have missed that particular option.
Yeah, create new. I had seen that, but project name, description, and language.
No. We are not interested in this. Create new. Create now. Before that, when you sign up. See, I'll create another one. Sign up.
Ma'am,
Okay.
this site is not working for me.
These are the credentials we need to put. Create account. The password does not match. The email ID is already in use. So you need to have another, because I already had an account made on this. This is for your trial again I'm making. So I need to, even username, if I write, my previous one was Aisha Butalia. So I made it 1. Maybe I'll make it 1, 3, or 1 is okay. Then I say create account. So no projects available here. You get this screen over here. Okay. Now here you can sort by. So this is not required right now. Just create new. Okay. You can create a project name. Anything you can create. This is just a trial. There are various languages. Right now we are having C. Okay. And then we say create. Now this, after creation, you get this screen. Is it okay? Now you say Open IDE. Now you get this screen. Is it fine?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. So this is project name Aisha Butalia displayed here. You can, if you are creating a calculator, you can write the project name as calculator. And then once you click on this Open IDE, you get this main screen. Then here, just click on left main and you get the code here. So this is a very simple code, hello world. Okay, these are the preprocessor directives. Okay. There is, I'll share you the video. The link in the description box will be there, or on the WhatsApp group, I'll share the link of the video where a theory of all this you can go through. Okay, right now let's concentrate on the open source. So these are the preprocessor directives. Main is the, there can be only one main function, and you can have a lot of user defined and inbuilt functions inside. Okay, so main, this is default syntax. Something which is having open and close brace becomes the function. Okay, so this is a predefined main function. Since it is returning in type, so we have got return, right? If we write here void, then probably we should not return. Now this return type of main, that all I have discussed in that theory lecture, which I'll share you the recording. Okay, you can see it in the description box also. Now just compile this over here. There is a tab, compile. So here it is coming, compilation successful. And then you click on the run tab and you get your hello world. If I write here printf, welcome to the session conducted by okay. Here, if I do this, compile, I'll get an error. Why I'll get an error? Because I missed the semicolon part. Then if I, without compiling, if I run the program, this has come here, hello world. Why it has come as hello world? Because the previous successfully compiled version, that file was run. So whenever we do the changes, we need to compile successfully and then run. So now since semicolon is put, the compilation is successful. Now I run the code. So I get 2 lines. Okay. Now printf already has a new line embedded in this. Now suppose I want by Dr. Aisha Butalia on a new line, I can put /n. And then suppose without compiling, I run the program, the previous version will come. Okay, you can see this. But now I'll compile it. And then I run the program. So I get this in a new line because this /n is for new line. Are you okay? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you find this simple, this open source?
Yes, ma'am.
Very simple. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just have a simple program. Int I, comma j. So what is I and j? Basically, these are variables. The moment we say int, that means this I and j are type integers. In C language, the memory which is used, occupied for I, integer is 2 bytes, for float 4 bytes, for character 1 byte. So whenever this is called declaration. So whenever we declare the variables, actually what happens, in memory 2 bytes is allocated, okay, with the name I. Actually, memory locations are located by hexadecimal binary, okay, say 2000H, 2001H, okay, so, but they are difficult to remember. Humans, they remember names rather than numbers. So that is why instead of mentioning here the addresses, we mention the name. And since it's a high level language, middle level language actually, but C is a high level language as well, because we have to write English like statements. It becomes easier for the user. We write directly, allocate a name. But what actually internal it happens, see, as a computer engineer, okay, you need to know why it is happening, okay, and how it is happening and what it is happening. But more you need to concentrate on why, okay. So if you want to become a good coder, you should understand the technical details internally, what's happening on the compiler level operating system. So when you declare int I, comma j, actually a 2 byte memory location named I is allocated, a 2 byte memory location named j is allocated. Then you can initialize it. Say I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. If we do not initialize it, garbage values are considered. Okay, this is called initialization. What is double slash? It is coming in green, that is comment. Comment means whatever we are writing in comments that doesn't get compiled by the compiler. It's just an English-like statement just to comprehend. So it should not be interpreted syntactically. It should be ignored by the compiler. We are just writing here for our sake. Because when we are writing big programs, sometimes we forget what code we have written for what. So writing comments like this would help us. Initialization. Okay, this is a single line comment. If I enter, then this will not create as a comment. But when we say this slash star, it can be a double line comment. So like this, slash star and then end with slash star. So you can write double line comment using slash star. Whereas single line comment you can use with double slash. So this is initialization. We can actually directly do the declaration and initialization. Just I'm writing this in comments because otherwise the same variable would get initialized twice, declared twice, and it will give an error. So it can be done declaration and initialization at one. I hope you are understanding. Should I move forward? Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So but this is called declaration. Then we can directly here print the value of I. Now, this D actually says that it is an integer type. So we need to print the integer. Now, sometimes what happens, integer requires 2 bytes and float requires 4 bytes. So float is a decimal, say I say 20.05. But here, if you're trying to display a float variable and you write a D that is integer type, it will actually print the float variable in integer type. That means it will print before decimal part. So that's why it is very important to mention over here. If you write your character, say C, then it will convert the integer into character and display. So that is why this format is very important. It does typecasting. Okay, you can just explore what is typecasting on Google and you will understand. Maybe we have a specialized lecture on this, but typecasting means converting one data type to another data type, say integer to float and float to integer, likewise. So let's see if it gives an error. It's waiting for results, maybe due to internet because it's online. It has got internet issue. So okay, so it has got some error, right? So we'll try to see if that error doesn't come with this comment. This is way you have to do the programming. If you want to become a good coder, then you should never get fear with errors. It makes you learn more, because the more you are capable of solving the errors, the more better coder you become, right? So it's compilation successful. If I do not write here comma, then what happens? It gives me an error. So this comma was expected. This I'm deliberately doing it so that you understand that there may be a small syntactical error. Okay, so do not get frightened. Just solve it with patience. So I is getting needs to be printed. Let's run the program. Okay, so the value of I is 0 here after Aisha Butalia. So what we can do is we can just put on the new line. So better you will not get confused. Let's recompile it because there's a change in the code. So we need to recompile it. Then hello world and the value is 0. Okay. If I initialize the value with 10, recompile it, run, we'll get the value 10. Now this is static function. Whenever we are changing the variable in the code, we need to compile and we need to run. There is another type, that is dynamic programming, where we will take the inputs from the user. So it will be scanf. You might be knowing also this, right? So %d ampersand I. Now what is ampersand? Ampersand is address of I. So what it will do, scanf means it's a input function. It will take the input from the user, and whatever input the user will put on the console, it will try to put that, not try, it will put that value on the address located by the name I. So if in the memory I denotes the variable name, but it is located at 2000 H address, so it will go on the 2000 H memory location and it will store that value I over there. So once this scanf is there, this value should be entered. Let's compile it and then run it. So after running, there is an input which is expected, say 5, and I press enter. So I get the value of I as 5. Okay. Should I repeat it? I say run. Then here an input value is expected. I'll replace it by 7 and say enter. So the value is entered. If you're getting confused, here you can add a printf statement. On a safer side, put /n. Actually, printf already has a /n, so it's not necessary. Enter the value of I. If I don't put a semicolon, I'll get an error. Great, run the program. So it is saying enter the value of I. So it is now clear that /n is not involved in printf. So I just wanted to make you that don't just listen. If you listen, you may not remember, but when you do it practically, you will always remember. Okay, I said I'm deliberately putting some errors so that you understand the importance of each. Now, since it is hanged up because it was expecting a value, it is hanged. So 6. Okay, now we come over here, we compile. Did you see on the screen? It was hanged up. Why? Because it was expected and valued. Until I complete that procedure, it won't come back to the cursor here. So I compile it and I run it. So now this has come in the new line and I say 8 and the value of 8 is displayed. Okay. Now we will just do for adding two numbers. So here we will just mention C program to add two numbers. This is actually, people ignore it, but this is very important because we should know that what program we are doing. So whenever you write a program, run it, the output, you keep it, just copy paste. Okay, in one page, write one program with output, have a page break, Word file, then another program, whatever programs you are practicing. Okay, questions, you can get n number of questions from the internet, from any book which you are referring at the back. Maybe I'll also give you the list of questions we can practice in the description box and in the WhatsApp group. Okay, that's why we have the WhatsApp group. So I can post you questions, but you can also explore certain questions. You can go for some online quiz. Okay, so for online quiz, if you need to write certain code, so just make a doc file and keep on posting the code with the output, so that that you can use it as a practical file. You can submit it as a soft copy or maybe as a hard copy later. But the main purpose is that if you have that list with you, whenever you find any problem, maybe after 10 days you forget some strategy or logic, you can go back and check it out. Okay, so this is the add two numbers. Let's continue with that. So we will have this scanf statement for I also. J also. If you want to make it static, then you can just put I is equal to some value, j is equal to some value, and then you initialize one more variable, say sum, and you just say sum is equal to I plus j and say printf sum. But here we are getting the values of from the user, because it's always good that you may take the inputs from the user so that it becomes dynamic. You need not recompile the program every time. Now, this is a small code, so it doesn't give you a headache. But when it's a big code, okay, it becomes difficult to recompile that variable if it is used say 100 times in a 10,000 lines of code. If you are hard coding it, if you change it if you have to change the value, you have to change 100 places. So if you make it dynamic programming, just you change from the user end and automatically it will get changed everywhere in the code. So that is the importance of dynamic programming. Okay, so enter the value of j, scanf j. Okay, printf, then here you can have sum equal to I plus j. Now see, equal to is an assignment operator and double equal to is a logical operator. Equal to means the value of I and j will get transferred to sum. Okay, but if you say equal to, that means left hand side and right hand side, they are evaluated whether they are equal or not. But here the right hand side value is being transferred to the left hand side value. So equal to is an assignment operator, whereas double equal to is a logical operator. Of course, we will take logical operators, relational operators in a specialized video. So here we will say print now sum. Let's see. So first enter the value of 4 I, we put it as 4, then we say enter. It's asking me the value of j, we put 6, and then we get the value 10. So it is easy. Add two numbers. Whenever I say int I, we are declaring the variable, but a 2-byte memory is assigned. Okay, 2-byte memory is assigned, but it is not initialized. So any garbage value, which is any value might be there on that memory location. Since it is of a no use, it is called as garbage value. Okay, so if I say printf now, after this, so it will print some garbage value. Okay, let's go to the code blocks. Maybe you will understand. Codeboard.io. Is the codeboard.io screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I just initialize a variable int I and I say print the value of I. Let's see what it prints. Value of I is 0, but we have not set 0. But in our previous program, it was set to 0. So that was in the buffer. Okay. So we need to clear the buffer, that we will see in our next session. But then here, the moment I say now I is equal to 20. And then I compile the program and run it. Now I get the value 20. The point I was telling you was that when we do not initialize the value, any value can be displayed. So here, when we were discussing about the logical operations, this is already logical operations. There is a separate video. Okay, I'll share you that also, even if it's not there in this recording. Okay, but you can go through that recording. But the highlight what was this not operator. So if b, the value of b is here 20, So if I say that b not equal to 20, so this is not true because the value of b is 20. So this condition is false. So if this condition is false, the value of I equal to 0, b not equal to 20. So here this condition b not equal to 20 is false because the value of b is 20 actually. So this value 0 will not get displayed. So what will get displayed? Whatever is the value of I initialized. So for example, I have set value of I equal to say 44. And now I say I is equal to 0. So here b value is 20. This is false. So what will get displayed, 0 or 44? Since this is false, this will not get displayed. The initial value of 44 will get displayed if I try to say printf I. Clear? If you want, we will see at over code board over here. But that not equal to, for that you need to learn the conditional statements using if then else in C language. So right now, since you do not know how to use that, okay, so that would be a bit difficult now to execute it. But anyways, this you can always understand. Because this is a not equal to operator.